Okay, so here we go live. All right. So welcome everyone to Meshery development meeting. Today is 16th of August and I'll share the meeting minutes in chat. Make sure you not forget to mark your attendance. And if you got any agenda, feel free to add it in. We'll be discussing updates on Meshery, whether it's UI, backend, Meshery CTL or Meshery docs. Feel free to add the agenda. And before we start the call, we'll follow our weekly newcomers tradition to welcome newcomer who is joining this call for the first time. So if you are a newcomer and haven't introduced yet to the community, this is your chance. You can unmute yourself and say hi.
Hey
So
everyone.
yeah, hi Javed.
Yeah, so my name is Rawal and this is the first meeting I'm joining.
Oh, great. Welcome to the call. Would like to say a bit more about you?
Yeah, so I'm a third year undergrad CSE. I'm from IIT Bhilai. And yeah, I got the link for this meeting from I asked you actually. So that's
Yeah,
where I got it from.
that's
Yeah,
great.
excited to be here, excited to meet the community, and I really love the work you all have been doing. So I want to contribute.
Yeah, such a great words, Javed. Yeah, welcome to the community and the call. Hope
Thank
you
you.
will enjoy it. All right. I see a couple of more new names. So Alvin or Parth Malvia, is this your first time? Or Ansha?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please
yeah,
go ahead.
Alvin, you are audible.
No, please. Someone else was talking.
No, it's okay. You go ahead.
Yeah, Alvin, you can go ahead. Ansha will introduce after you.
Okay, thank you. My name is Alvin. I'm a 2023 grad in CSE from India. Uh, Mainly experience in front-end development. Looking forward to contributing in Meshery's front-end projects.
That's great. Yeah. So Meshy uses React for front end and a couple of more frameworks such as Billboard JS and other frameworks. So yeah, definitely you will find an issue to work on. And welcome to the call. All right. Yep, Ansha, you are good to introduce.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Ansha. I'm from BMS College of Engineering. I'm a 2024 undergrad, and I have worked with. I have a basic understanding of web development and uh, simple ML algorithms. So, looking forward to contribute to my shooting.
That's great. Thank you for introduction, Ansha, and welcome to the community and to the call. All
Thank you.
right. So I see a couple of more new names. So Fifi or Nitin, anyone would like to introduce?
Hi, I'm Fifi Dawson from Ghana. I'm studying computer engineering at Academic City University College, class of 2025. I have some experience in front-end development with Flutter and a bit of React, HTML, Bootstrap, JavaScript, yes. And this is my first time contributing to open source, hoping to learn more about it.
Yeah, that's great. Yep, you are definitely at the right place to start your open source journey. Yeah, welcome to the call. So next
Thank
up, I
you.
guess it's Nitin or Parth. All right. If you got any audio issues, feel free to drop your introduction in chat. And before we start the call, so if you got webcams, don't be shy. Feel free to open your webcams. It's always nice to interact with face than just voice. So let's start with the meeting items. So first up, we have item from Abid, but I think Abid will be joining a bit late. So let's cover Abdullah's update on Go Mod Sync workflow. So hi, Abdullah, would like to take the stage?
Yeah, sure. Hopefully my screen is visible. To give a bit of background about this PR, So currently, we have a workflow that keeps the Go mod file of Meshery server as well as Meshery extensions, which is the repository of meshmap in sync. So there is a workflow that keeps both of these go.mod files in sync so that we don't face any dependency issues when we're trying to build a mesh map. And when this workflow was failing, there wasn't any notification to indicate that this workflow has failed. So I've appended the Go mod syncer workflow with so whenever it fails, it will send a notification email saying that it has failed. Yeah, that's it from my side. Send an email to support@layer5 where is the email? support@layer5.io saying that this workflow has failed.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, we should also copy this email to maintainers and at meshery.io. That's great. Anyone has quick comments or feedback for Abdullah? The changes looks good to me. All right, I'll share my screen again. So Suhail, you're up next with docs and CI updates.
Yeah, I'm sharing. Yeah. So to give bit of a context, this week I was working on Meshery CLI docs. So if you can see this page, there are some sub commands that aren't updated yet because it isn't covered in the workflow. So I have updated this in my PR. In this PR, there are some works pending related to usage and examples to be added in some of the subcommands. Yeah, so that was for docs, and another update was related to CI. So, like couples of day back, Pranav uh, mentioned an issue related to Swagger docs workflow failing. So I found that the Go version and the Go Swagger version were incompatible. So I have updated this workflow. So this should work now.
All right. So Pranav, do you have any comments or feedback for Suhail?
No, it looks good. Thank
Yeah,
you, Sahil.
I have one.
yeah, sure. Go ahead, Mario.
Sure. So is that a value that should be turned into some kind of environment variable? So it can be used across workflows, updated in a single place.
Yeah, we can add it uh, in the GitHub environment.
Unless someone feels like otherwise strongly. But yeah, that's just a suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah, we can add it.
All righty. Thanks, Suhail, for the updates. I'll share my screen again. So next up we have update from Friedrich on enhancement of policies endpoint and registration endpoints. Do we have Friedrich on the call? Yep.
Yeah. Hello. All right. So let me quickly share my screen. Okay. So there was inside of the spreadsheet, like recently I opened an issue because there was two endpoints missing. The one for policies, those two endpoints. So I actually implemented those two endpoints, but I realized later that there was currently no policies defined inside of Meshery. So I will. So now I will working on like defining those policies and before moving forward with this. All right. That's it.
Yeah. So, Pranav, I think did you reviewed British PR? Is it good too much?
Yeah,
No,
actually, I've
actually,
not
I just
looked at.
I just opened it. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, 6 months ago. Yeah, a totally bad question from me. Got it. Yeah. All right. Thanks, British. I'll share my screen again. So Vivek is up with some of the community celebrations of Discuss Forum with some leaderboard updates. So Vivek would like to share.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Gaurav. Hoping that my audio is audible and screen is visible. So today we'll be celebrating some of the discussion forum champions, the contributors who have been regularly interacting and engaging on the discussion forum, asking questions and sharing the answers. So first, I'll briefly talk about the discussion forum, how you can access it and use it to get your questions answered, or if you want to pair up with a missionate, or you want to share anything with the community. So you can head over to discuss.lairfile.io, and then there you can log in and you can start interacting. You can ask your questions in case you are asking questions. So just a heads up that make sure to check for your questions in case they are already answered. You can also post on discussion forum from any of the Slack channels directly by this convenient slash command, that is slash discuss post, and then and is the position at which your message is in the channel from the latest message. So if it is the latest message itself, so it would be one. So if you will type slash discuss post one, then it will load a transcript, which then you can edit to draft your post. So that was about how you can post on discussion forum. And next, going on to the next slide, I just want to say this. So we will be putting some spotlights on the discussion forum champions. And what do I mean by that is the discussion forum champions are the individuals who are who have gone up and beyond, making discussion forum incredible place for sharing learnings, collaborating and sharing the knowledges. So let's see who are those guys. So for number of likes received, it's Vikramaditya. For solutions, it's Karan Thakur, and for post created, it's Philip Obiora. So all of you guys have done amazing job, uplifting the discussion forum and facilitating the newcomers, sharing the resources and answering their questions. So any one of you, Vikramaditya, Karan, and Philip, if you would like to say a quick few words about your experiences, your learnings, and if it helped you in any way. So any one of you, if you would like to say something. Karan, Vikramaditya, or Philip? I guess they are on the call, right?
Yeah, great. It feels great to be top solution there. So yeah, we are a community, and I'm also a contributor, and it feels great to help other contributors to move forward and help them contribute to the project. So yeah, it also motivates me to keep doing it more and help other contributors.
Great. Big
Thanks for
round
the
of
shout
applause.
out.
A big round of applause for these guys. And you heard Karan. So if you are wondering, the recognitions, how Learfile community recognizes, so I'll recommend checking the handbook and then the recognition section. There you will find all the requirements and the details, the ways in which Learfile community elevates and celebrates its, the contributors. So now let's go to the next. And there you see our Cloud Native Hero 5. And in case just if you don't know about 5, so I'll share a link in the chat where you can read about 5 and his adventures and the upcoming chapters. So just for the context, 5 has embarked on a Cloud Native journey across the Cloud Native universe to reach Mystery Planet. But he looks a bit tense, and the reason is he is getting this signal from his ship and saying that it would run out of fuel soon. So he would need stars in order to refuel it. And so just so that he doesn't end up being stranded in the cosmic void. So how can we help him? And the answer is we can toss a star on the Meshery repository at github.com/Meshery. So all of you here on the call, I'll request all of you to share with your friends, groups, at LinkedIn, Twitter, about spreading the word about saving our young hero's life. So I'll request everyone to start the Meshery repository. I'll share the link in chat too, so that he can continue his journey and reach the planet Meshery. So that was about celebrating our discussion forum champions and Five's journey, and we'll be back again soon. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, that was a great update from you, Vivek. I'll just add a few more things on this. So yeah, we use, as Vivek said, we use Discuss Forum, and you can create directly posts from your Slack using / command. So that's a very great thing and a quick thing that you can perform. Plus, talking about Five. So we have the first adventure of Five that's out on social media too. So more adventures of Five will be coming up next week. Probably Ritik is working on making some of the new chapters. So those chapters will be when Five will land to planet Prometheus, planet Jaeger, and then finally the main destination, planet Meshery. So currently we do have about 2.8k stars on Meshery repository. So for this month we have we aim to reach 3,000 stars, and before KubeCon North America 2023 this month, that's in November. So we aim to reach 5,000 stars. So that's only possible if you all share the repository with your friends, peers, and yeah, do start it. I have shared the link again in chat. And do use Discuss Forum if you got any questions. So that's a great thing. And yeah, good updates, Vivek, on community. So moving up next, a few hours ago, I opened up 2 PRs. One is on adding global Canela soft font to the Meshery UI theme. So now we don't have to hard code a theme in any of the MUI components. So it's now added to the whole thing. I'll also toss it in the storybook component that Antoinette has created. So if it's required over there. Plus, there is a quick item to be noted over here. This Cypress test is failing only just for this PR. I'll share the link in chat, or maybe Mario would like to take a look and say a couple of things. Adam, what's going wrong over here? Because it's just a style update in the app.js file.
I'll take a look.
Yep, sure. Thanks, Mario. So moving on next, I have another update. So I added a toaster notification on save operation. So I don't have Meshery server running. I think I should be. But yeah, what this PR does is on saving the designs, whether we are saving it on tables or on grid view from the YAML configurator. So we'll get a toaster notification that will say your design is saved or updated according with the name that's provided over here. Plus, we are using a proper convention of naming, and all these snack bars will be pushed towards the pushed in the notification center. So the work is also in progress for that. I'll share the link in PR in case anybody wants to review. All right. Anyone has quick questions or comments regarding this before we move to the next item?
Yeah, I think Abid, we were just on a different call. He might not be on at the moment. He has an open PR that will hopefully really help in this area, help expose the toaster notifications that are displayed that you were just reviewing, that hopefully his revised approach will make it such that more or less by default that anytime there's a toaster notification shown, that also that notification would become available in the notification center. And so he's, I think, cut it down to like two lines of code to just, hey, here's what you use to create a notification, and also have it available in the notification center. So we've been underutilizing that notification center. People, users aren't quite sure what's going on. And so, yep, Abid's PR will be helpful. It'd be good for anyone who's contributing to the UI to maybe review Abid's PR, because we would probably seek to perpetuate or propagate the change. Can you go to his PR? We would probably seek to propagate his changes across the UI, including in this PR, which is missing notification in the notification center. Now, if you're able to play that recording, that might be nice. One thing, Abid, as a piece of feedback, if you would consider this, that as those notifications are displayed, that arrow is, hopefully we can make it, what do you call, unnecessary, or hopefully what we can do is just, if someone clicks anywhere on the toaster or on that snack bar, to just open up the notification center, to perform the same behavior that arrow does. If that wasn't obvious to users, or if a user thought by clicking on it that they would be dismissing it, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully, because we've got the X in the corner, so they could click the X to dismiss it, or they could just wait till it goes away. I think most users of Meshery would understand that those are transient messages, that they would be removed after a few seconds. If that wasn't obvious, or we really needed to provide a button, that maybe it would just be the notification bell instead of an arrow. My hope is that we don't have to show anything. We just, if someone clicks on it, that means that they're interested in it. They probably want more info. So open up the notification center, deep link it to that notification. What do you think about that, Abid?
Yeah, actually, I tried that first, like clicking anywhere, but we can't customize the whole snack bar. Like, we can only add a button to it and the text. Like, I think we can. I will check, like, if it allows us to use like HTML into the content. If it allows us that, then we can also like make the whole snack bar clickable. So then it would be easy. Like, we can click anywhere. So yeah, that can be possible.
It makes sense why you have the arrow now. Yeah.
Yeah, I will try that again. Like, I'm on the branch.
Does anybody else have thoughts or feedback? One of the things that we're trying to do as a project is use more of the notification center and to persist the messages, actually, such that at some point it's not just individual messages and people can go over and look at an audit, a history of what's gone on in the system. That's helpful. But more than that, to the extent that Meshery is a few different things, but one of the things that it is an orchestrator, is something of a workflow engine that might perform any number of activities within a given request. If you were to request that it provisions some infrastructure, that might take a couple of activities within a single operation. So hopefully, at some point, the notification center might also become something of an operation center, just providing the user with details of each of the activities, each of the steps that were executed as part of the single operation that the user performed. Most often, the canonical use case here is something like a deployment. So when the user clicks to deploy this design, well, it's got 50 different components inside. Great. Did they all get provisioned? Did one of them not make it? And at some point, shortly after, well, then the choice would be, well, what to do about that? If it wasn't completely successful, should you roll it back, cancel it, retry it, ignore it, or whatever, like the different options that people will need. And so having something of a visual DAG will help as well. So anyway, you guys got me all excited about the notification center. So good, cool. Abid's got a great PR up. Hopefully, Gaurav, maybe you can help us get some instruction, or if maybe Gaurav, or if there's someone else on the call that wants to do this. It would be wonderful if we updated the UI contributing guide to include just a small snippet about here's how you, when you need to notify the user, here's how you you do that so that it ends up in the notification center too.
Yeah, we should put it in the guide. So anywhere else we use notifications, we just use that hook. And I think also if there's any contributor who wants to contribute to the UI mesh UI, this is a good opportunity here. We have to propagate these changes to rest of UI. So if anybody wants to jump in, please DM me. I'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah, actually, that's wonderful. Abid, actually, I'll just change that slightly. Don't DM Abid. As a matter of fact, please don't DM in the Slack. When you do, you're stealing the opportunity for everybody else to learn from what's going on. Okay. And then you're going to make Abid repeat himself, repeat himself, repeat himself, repeat himself. Is that annoying yet? Because I got to tell you, I can't tell you how many times I repeat myself. I repeat myself. I repeat. Anybody else annoyed yet? It's super annoying to answer the same question. The same question. Don't DM. Don't DM. Don't DM. Please. By the way, when I say that, from my part, I love interacting with everybody, anybody that comes to the Slack. I really enjoy it. I just can't keep up, and so.
Yeah, I will just create like an issue for it, so you can just trash there.
All right. So Pranav, you're up next with your update.
Okay. So my update is about managing the life cycle of adapters, basically allowing you to deploy and deploy based on your needs from Meshery UI. So first of all, a little bit of context, that is Meshery as an extensible cloud-native manager helps you manage the infrastructure in different environments. And specifically for the case of service meshes, there are adapters which Meshery uses for exposing their functionalities and having an interface directly to Meshery UI. And Meshery as a tool supports 10 different service meshes, and for each service mesh, there's an adapter for it. And so currently the issue was that there was Meshery used to ship with all 10 adapters, and there was no way to actually slim down the default configuration of Meshery. It was only possible if you actually go back to your mesh config and change the configuration. Otherwise, from UI, it wasn't really possible. And yeah, so this PR basically fixes that. It gives you the ability to manage the lifecycle of your adapters directly from Meshery UI, whether it's exposed and whether you're running Meshery in a Dockerized environment or in Kubernetes environment. So currently we are in Playground. As this thing is already released, so we can check that right now in Playground. And so currently, if you don't know, Playground is a Dockerized version of Meshery, which is a full-blown deployment of Meshery. So now let's say we are already running 3 adapters, Istio, Console, and Linkerd. So what I did was I actually clicked on each of the chips, and what it does that internally it does an ad hoc connectivity test to each of the adapters. And if you don't know, adapters actually talk to Meshery to gRPC calls. These are small containers which are different from Meshery's container. So let's say if you want to deploy a new adapter, let's say Kuma, and you want to deploy it on this default port, you click deploy. So internally, what would happen is then Meshery will actually check. What it will do is you try to provision this Meshery Kuma's container under this at this port, and it will actually expose, and the container would be running in the same Docker network in which Meshery is running, so that actually Meshery can talk to it. So like, though it didn't get updated automatically, but if I do a refresh, though there should be a graphics description for it, but currently we don't have. Now if I click on the Kuma's adapter, now I can talk to it. So because now the adapter is provisioned, so we can talk to it and we can do all kind of lifecycle management of that adapter by going to this place. And the next test is, let's just go back and undeploy it and see what happens. So if one more thing, like we can also see Kuma right here right now. And if I try to undeploy it, what it will do is that it will go back and undeploy the container of this Kuma. And now if I click on it, now Meshery won't be able to talk to it because the container is not there. So like this, you can not only manage your adapters in Dockerized environment, but also in Kubernetes environment. Though in Kubernetes, it's a little different. Instead of having containers, what we have deployments, and we use this Helm internally to manage that. So yes. So in case you're running your Meshery in Kubernetes, then you can test the same functionality. it's exactly same. So any questions on this? I actually demoed this on the last CI/CD call as well in case you missed it. So I think now everybody knows about it. So any questions on this? Okay, that's it from my side.
All right. Thanks, Pranav. It was a great demo. I'll share my screen again. So next up we have update from Vivek Jha.
Yes. So basically, what the issue was, we had to link roles to the keychains. Previously, I raised a PR for it. We had a separate column for links to link it with keychains, but I have done additional changes according to reviews. Uh, Now it links with keychains name to the keychains. Also, I have another update on this data tables. We had a site select here, which was an issue, so I removed it. This PR fixed that. That's it.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Vivek. Looks good. So let's now see updates from Yash Sharma on fixing component for service mesh on dashboard.
Yeah, so can you open the PR? Can you open my PR, Gaurav?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you. So my issue was that when you provision your service mesh, after that when you go on the dashboard, so in the dashboard you have an option to where you can see your service meshes. So the name, when you see that, will you will see the component name actually, like component linkd 3 times or 4 times same name. It was issue because we are using component, and component they are same for linked. But if we use the name instead of component, it fixes the issue, and also implemented a small regex, because with the component name it comes with a little bit of alphanumeric numbers. So this PR also fixes that, so that we will not show the user the alphanumeric number, only show the name only. Yeah.
All right. Yep, it's merged and yeah, looks good to me. Anyone has quick questions or comments?
By the way, like that alphanumeric which you're saying, isn't it the pod's name? Because generally pod has a like alphanumeric kind of thing at the end. Have you removed that, or which alphanumeric you are looking?
Yeah. So so the issue was that in I cannot say because I am not running my server, but when you like provision your STO service mesh, all pods we are showing the components, and the thing is that we are showing their name. So because of that, only STO again and again it's showing instead of their name. Alphanumeric number is comes with, yeah, their name. So I remove them.
Okay, let me share my screen this for. No, you don't have to edit that much, but are you saying that you have removed this thing, like these? Is my screen visible?
Yeah, Pranav.
It is. Yeah, it is. Actually, this probably brings up another, just a related. This, yeah. Yep. Well, a little bit of history here. There is a component in Meshery called Mesh Sync. For some of you, you're quite familiar with it. It is a component that gets deployed whenever a Kubernetes cluster, whenever Meshery connects to a Kubernetes cluster. Mesh Sync watches all kinds of activities that are happening within the cluster or across various clusters, and reports that information back to Meshery server. Meshery server catalogs it and then prepares it for display. Display here visually and display in the dashboard. Now, there were two versions of MeshSync. The initial version of MeshSync was really just Meshery server itself performing a scan of different Kubernetes clusters that it was connected to and retrieving that info, sort of polling Kubernetes for things. Not the ideal design. And so the MeshSync v2, so to speak, is this custom controller that gets deployed as part of Meshery operator. And the information that Meshery server receives from MeshSync and that Meshery server catalogs in a local database, well, that's what's being called upon right here, Linkerd destination 78, blah, blah, blah. That's what's being retrieved, the MeshSync info. I don't know that that's necessarily what's being retrieved for the UI. Maybe it is. Pranav, you might know since you wrote the two queries.
Yes,
Pranav, there's a larger question that I have for you. I think it's for right here, it's probably okay that we're showing the full name because they've selected an individual pod. They're wanting to, like, the level of specificity here is probably fine. I mean, that's probably debatable, but I just, it might be the difference between the summary view, which is what you're on right now, versus the details view, which is what you can, like, if you were to highlight a node again, if you were to click on one, and that you can switch between the two. So that could be something that maybe you cut it off in summary and you display the full name and details or something. I think Meshery, I know that Meshery has a larger issue here, and that's that there is a slight disconnect between all of that rich information that MeshSync is sending over and that Meshery server is cataloging. That information desperately is trying to find a way out. And it did through this visualization here. This is great. There's a lot of enhancements to be made here, but it's starting to show up and more of that info is bubbling up. Good, good. The dashboard, though, which is what every user sees when they first sign in, is woefully underpowered. And that was known at the time. It was something we had to get up quickly. And now it's time to circle back and begin to expose that info. And I guess what I'm getting to is the underlying database tables that track MeshSync or information received from MeshSync and other database tables for connections that Meshery tracks. Those two things are disparate, are segregated now. And I wonder if they shouldn't be consolidated to the same connections table. I don't know that that works. I just wanted to bring it up as potentially an area of consolidation that might help with the curation of information from MeshSync to kind of qualify it and clean it up a little bit. There's a lot of additional information that is received from Kubernetes about the individual resources that may or may not fit into the other database tables, the connections table. Thoughts on that? There's probably some review. Yeah, it's good. Sounds like it's an intriguing thought, potentially one to let fester a bit or let percolate a bit. I don't know that the two tables necessarily come together quite cleanly. I also am leery of the fact that if Meshery is a multi-cluster manager, which it is, and so if it's managing, 5 Kubernetes clusters, each having 10 nodes, each having, a couple hundred pods, oh boy, that's a lot of info. That's a lot of updates from 5 different MeshSyncs instances sending back info to Meshery server. My goodness, that's probably going to be some big old tables. If we consolidate tables, there might be some performance, there might be some probably not contention, but just some slowness based on the table size. And so maybe it's not necessarily consolidation that is most helpful, but it probably is some amount of, what's the right word? Like, I don't know, some amount of curation of the information that's stored inside the mesh sync tables, some amount of preparation for them to be some predefined views, whether those are literally database views that are created based on database trigger or something else. Either way, there's probably a call for contributors that are interested in that area to descend upon it, dissect the data that's available inside the mesh sync tables, and begin to explore how it is that we can really expose some of that information in a much better way, in a much deeper way. It's interesting that this is a single node cluster, that's what this Meshery instance is connected to. You can see resources, node, how many? One. That's what you see in the workloads here. Interesting. Okay, well, what type of node is that? Well, you can use the visualizer, but a lot of that info is readily at hand and could be, there's a bunch of different ways to expose a bit more of it. We don't need to re-visualize it here necessarily, but yes, and even if Sonali, even if the connections page that you're working on, where it has a connections table, which will hopefully merge soon, even if it was just a separate table on the same page that just regurgitates all the mesh sync info, I think getting that exposed, even if it's not very well curated, it's just a browsable database table, a web-based database table, that would provide immense value for, at least for reference material. And from there, we can start to pluck out some insights and bubble those up into the dashboard. At least that's what I'm thinking. What are you all thinking?
I was just
Sonali?
thinking like, I was just thinking like it might not be that helpful if we consolidate connections and the discovered object, because an object which is discovered, Meshery might not be like reachable to that specifically, or Meshery cannot manage that. It's not necessary. So
It's like I get shot down all the time. I just get the, yeah, I agree. I agree, by the way. What a terrible idea that Lee had a second ago. I agree, like, yeah, for a few different reasons. But yep, so Sonali, since we're talking about this stuff a bit, do you have how far away are we from the connections page that you have, from it being out there?
Yes, I can share.
Oh, okay. Oh, that'd be great. I was told at one point sharing is caring, so that's great.
I have raised this PR for add the connections to Meshery UI. So right now it's shown on the life cycle. Yeah, right now we list all the connection here, and you can see server data when you expand the column. And also here you have the link for that action, and it will open on the action.
And this looks, anybody have feedback? Anybody have, this would be a brand new page. Is there any way that we can get rid of the faucets, the little, yeah, those little guys? Can we just click on the row by chance?
Okay. I have looked into that. Right now, it expand only. Click on this icon.
Shudansu, do you know? Abid, do you know?
Yeah, I've not tried that.
Actually, there is a small prop that you need to pass in the options when you use the data table. It disables that arrow, and it also enables the option to click on the row. We have that functionality in the Meshery cloud.
Okay. I have looked into it.
All right. Yeah, looks good. Sonali.
Sonali, is the is this connected to, I mean, I know that your demo here is probably not connected to live data, or maybe it is. Or I guess, yeah, is it? I guess it is, huh?
Yes, this is live data from remote provider.
Man, what are we waiting for? This is wonderful. Did you want to say more about the status column? Just any
Status. Right now, we have only right now we only show the status of each connection. Like we have.
Okay, and so right now it's not a point of interaction for the user.
Yes,
Okay.
just show the status only.
Okay. Are you on a path to potential interaction? Is that a possibility that can be facilitated through a table like this?
Yes, we have like just look into that, but right now I'm not implement anything regarding update column.
Gotcha. Okay, still a point of exploration. Okay, got it. If you have your own way with it, I'm guessing it would be that users could go over, they might be able to click on that label, if that's the right way of, and maybe choose between one status or the next. And then potentially, and then Meshery might go off and do something based on that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, nice. Good. Does anybody else want to second the notion that this is ready to be merged? Anybody have reservations? What does it look like when you bring it down into a smaller width screen? If I can put you on the spot, is it responsive? Yeah. Anyway, something to check on. Maybe we want to start to hide a couple of columns as we go. But super. Anybody else have comments? Anybody else want to make little noises with their mouth as she does this?
Sonali, can we make the text discovered whole text, because like we have a space, so we can show the whole text for the status. We can remove the ellipses.
Okay. I will check that.
Also, like I'll provide the dark mode version of all these status.
Alrighty. Thanks, Sonali. Looking great. I'll share my screen again. So next we have an update from Sudhanshu.
So like when we publish design or filters, so like we check the access of roles. Like if you have only admin access, then the designs are directly published. But like if you don't have any admin access, design and filters goes for approval. So we already have that backend for support for that, but in the front end, we were not checking that. So this PR add that logic, like only if you are admin access, you will see design is published. But when like you have admin like accept admin access, you will see those like design is wait for like publish, but you have like it will you have to wait for the approval for being design and filters being published. So yeah, like this is a quick thing for this will fix that. Second thing is that it will have to be pushed to the notification center as well. So like I see that Aved is already PR up for that, and he is using the reusable component for pushing the notification directly to the center. So we can wait for that to be merged, and the same component can be referenced and adhere to like, push to the notification center as well. So
All right. Yeah, looks good, Sudhanshu. I was just taking a look at the PR. Yeah, the verbiage needs to be improved. Yeah, rest looks good. So, Avishkar, you're up next. Oh, Avishkar is not with us today. So we'll move to Vikram's update. So Vikram has raised a issue. I'll just share in chat. So it's again a dark mode enhancement for configuration for search item. Any volunteer? You can comment on the issue or signal now in chat. Let's get you a sign. All right. Udit, would like to share updates on filters. Is Udit with us? Okay. Nope. Udit is also not with us today. So Uzair, you're up next. I would like to present the update on add mesh version support.
Sure. It basically adds this drop down in the lifecycle management page so that you can select the mesh version you want to provision. Earlier, like it defaults to the latest version, and it can be a beta release as well. So it is not the quite expected behavior. It is not a good behavior for the user. So this PR adds a drop down so that you can select the version you want to install. So and also the issue of the istio or any of the adapters not registering their components inside Docker environment or in Playground. So this PR also covers that. So basically that registration endpoint is now unauthenticated. So yes, these were the updates in this PR.
Yeah. Any quick comments or anything for Uzair before we move to next item? All right. Thanks, Uzair. So we covered Senali's connection item. So that was looking great. So Ritik would like to present some updates on recognition banner and badges.
Yeah, I'll share my screen. Okay, for context, so we have a recognition program in which we have my screen visible. So we have a recognition program in which we recognize contributors or the user depending on their contribution or various activities they perform on Meshery. So this is a website on which we have all the badges. We assign or award badges to all the users of contribution. So all the badges are listed on our badges.vfi.io, which is created by Gopi Weber. So like currently the banner on the site is not updated and that not uh, check qualify for the quality check. So I have updated that banner with the new version, and the current banner and this new banner is less than 2 MB. So this is the first update, and second is I've added this. I've changed the standard invite model uh, in Meshery Cloud. So like to have a team and organization. And third is I have also added the button of this. Yeah, added the button in publish it email template that will link users that will link allow admin to directly go to the Meshery cloud and to accept the invitation to accept the request of a published catalog. So
All right. Thanks, Azik. Let's follow up on this. The banner looks good. So we have still 2 more minutes left. So Prem, would like to discuss, or we could cover this on Slack.
As you like it.
All right. Yeah, let's cover this on Slack. So Ashu would like to present your updates on modification of code curve report.
Hey, yeah, hey, hi everyone. Uh, yes. So, yeah, this was actually raised to, as the title says, to generate to make the test pass that are being that are running under the CI. I mean the CI pipeline that is running the tests that are running under that pipeline. I was trying to fix those so that it can at least generate initial report with some of the updates for which we have new unit tests added. So although if you check the number of lines that were added, it is quite much, but most of the lines that are present over there is those are the lines present in the coverage.txt file, the file that needs to be uploaded to the code cove report. And apart from that, the way that this was achieved was I have only fixed the unit test as of now. I haven't found a way to successfully, uh, find a way to successfully do the integration test in the environment that I was using. Uh, so integration test will keep on failing if we go ahead with this. And whereas unit tests are, where when we talk about the unit test, so since we use the golden files to perform these tests, there is a command which we can use to update the golden files. That's what I have done here. That is go test package name dash update. So that particular command would probably update our golden files. And the reason that we do this is because whenever we have some functionality changes or any other, like some of the things that were added after initially the tests were created, it would kind of update our golden files. So that's what I have done here. But I think the amount of changes is something that we should collectively go through and decide whether we want them to be retained or not. So yeah, so I'm actually looking for feedback from the guys who have actually written the test and whether they think the golden files that we would be retaining if we go ahead with this, like if they are okay with it, then only we should be merging this PR.
Well, I have a question. Ashu, were you saying that of the utility that you've written into Go test, is the behavior that you would run Go test, a contributor would run Go test, that would invoke a number of different Meshery CTL commands. It would capture the output and then update the golden template files based on that new output?
Yes, it would kind of do that, but I would drop a link in the chat so that everybody can once go through that. The command is actually go test dash package name dash update. Yeah, but it does exactly what Lee is saying. Yeah.
So okay. Well, okay. Or does okay. Got you. Okay, so this is for running. Is this for running assertions, or is this for updating the templates themselves?
I think this would particularly change the data inside our test data folders, and I'm not sure what assertions are. Uh, so yeah, that is one of the reasons that I would probably need feedback from others here.
Yeah. Yeah. To the extent that it helps, an assertion is like it's like making a statement that Meshery is a wonderful project. It's like a statement. I will assert that Meshery is a wonderful project, and then somebody or something needs to come over and vet that statement and say, let me compare that with the facts. Yes, in fact, that's true. That assertion is true. It is a wonderful project. It's an amazing project.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So that's probably sort of core to the function. If you think about the verb test, like go test. Okay, fine. We've got a bunch of things that we are asserting to be true. In our case, it's like, hey, these template files have content, and that content we're saying this is what we expect. This is our assertion. We assert that Meshery CTL should behave in this way. It should respond with whatever's inside these template files. And then as go test continues down and finds the individual unit tests as it invokes those, and will verify the response from those packages, from those tests against the assertions that are inside the golden template itself. I think is I'm not sure if it it'd be interesting if it does update the contents of the template files. That might be fairly helpful. It can be potentially a little dangerous, because if you do that all the time, you're basically saying, hey, we're not really, I made some code changes. Oops, there's a bug in there. I wasn't aware of it, but I'm running this command to just update. I'm updating the assertion to just be whatever the new output is. And it's sort of like, well, then you're never going to fit. You might be incorporating the output of the bug into your assertion and just, so.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Yes. It's a double-edged sword. I mean, yeah, I can agree with that.
But it can also be, but to the extent that you are quite sure that, hey, it is time to update the template and assertion to update in a template file, then this can be super helpful to the otherwise potentially monotonous, potentially arduous task of manually updating various template files, especially if it's a sweeping change that you're making. That's intriguing.
I mean, the other way that I can see we achieve this is we can divide this by just updating specific packages, and we can go from there. Like if we fix the test data with respect to the packages that are present over there, like right now we are updating all of the test files that are present in all of the packages. That might not be a good thing to do here. So other way I can think of is if we update files with respect to by considering the test by considering the packages, that would be a good idea. But yeah, I would definitely need some help over here. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say about this. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll tack a few extra reviewers on there, get you some better feedback. It's good.
All right. Thanks, Ashu. So we are 7 minutes over, so it's time to wrap today's call. So again, make sure you subscribe to the community calendar. And if you are new and things were and you feel few things were new to you. So we do have a newcomers call, especially for you. So make sure you join the newcomers call on Thursday and meet meshmates and community managers and get an overview of project and Layer 5 community. So we'll see you soon next week. Same time, same place. Bye all.